Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy. Today, welcome to our weekly Saturday morning silliness. On the screen, you've got my mentor and good friend, Lobot, rocking the house. Gotta love Lobot. Talking about a good friend. Lobot was an amazing friend to Lando, right? Those two went through some crazy shenanigans. But today we are going to be doing our GAC. This is round 2 of the 3. And we're going to be talking about like the Ahsoka show. So if you haven't seen it, I'll bring it up from time to time. We'll be talking about any Star Wars news and just really kind of goofing off and enjoying our Saturday morning before we need to go and get our chores done. Now, having said that, I'm going up against Obi-Aaron 1 in GAC. Let's see. Let's look at his roster real quick. This is not brought to you by Dr. Pepper Zero, which, to be honest, I think is a better Dr. Pepper than Diet Dr. Pepper. I think Diet Dr. Pepper is disgusting. I'm sorry for those of you who like it. You're entitled to your opinion, but personally, it's too diety for me. But this Dr. Pepper, I'm okay with. We are live streaming over on Twitch and YouTube, so join us wherever you may be, and do me a favor, hit like, subscribe, and share. And if you feel so inclined, check out the links in the section below. Pretty sure you can still get a free book, and I think 2 free books at Audible. And every time you subscribe, you help the channel. And my swag store, of course, my swag store. But Obi-Aaron 1, whatever, has Jedi Master Kenobi, Jedi Knight Luke, Rey, Supreme Leader Kylo. Pretty decent roster. You scroll down, he's got some pretty solid Omicrons. Treya Omicron, Wampa Omicron, Dangerous. Let's see, but he is missing some key elements. Doesn't have his Grand Admiral Thrawn. I mean, with Ahsoka show coming up, man, or currently, you got to get that Thrawn. He also doesn't have a fluffy bottom. So which makes a lot of sense as to what he's done on defense. Ooh, look at that. Ships too. Oh, you got to get your ships up, Obi-Aaron. Ships are one of those things that everybody needs. I made a boo-boo the other day. All right, so he's got some good ships. He's not bad, but he's just not where he probably needs to be. Now, maybe he hasn't been playing since launch, or maybe he's not a whale like me who likes to swim in shallow waters. But this kind of makes sense as to what his defense looks like. He's got Iden Versio up top, Omicron. He's got Palpatine with Star Killer. I'm going to talk a little bit about Star Killer. I'm going to ask you guys a question. We have Revan, we have Rey, and then we have Maul. Solid teams, all for a good defensive front. Let's check out his bottom. That's what she said. Right off the bat, we've got Padme. Pretty good Padme with Ahsoka and Baldy there. We've got Dash. We've got the good Dash. We've got Revan. We've got Mando. Beskar Mando. We've got Kylo. Supreme Leader Kylo. So let's go ahead and let's start with the bottom here. Who do I want to go after? Let's go after Kylo. Let's take the biggins out first. Now, this Kylo is solid Kylo. I'm gonna use my Lukes and my Yoda. All right, let's jump into it, guys. Non-spoilery review. Are you ready for it? This is my non-spoilery review. That's it. I thoroughly enjoyed Ahsoka. Now, I went into it honestly not expecting a ton. I was hoping that it would be good, and I was happy that it was good. It was good. It was a solid show. It took its time, which is positive. I think that so often a lot of these shows get rushed, storyline wise, and they don't spend the time they need to develop characters, to develop a plot, to develop a story. Now, I've talked to a few people, and I'm curious because, for example, one of my principals, he and I talk a lot about Star Wars. Like when a new show's come out, and he's like, I like this, but I don't understand this, or I like this, and this is something that's interesting. And one of the concepts that he brought up to me was like, I didn't realize that I would have to know as much as I do, as much as I need to about Rebels, Star Wars Rebels. Now we heard that this would be a spiritual successor to Star Wars Rebels, and it is. It absolutely is. And I'm curious, like I went through and I've only watched it once, but I've gone through and I want to break it down, or I want to rewatch it, but kind of try to, as I'm watching it, think to myself, what do I know as a fan of Rebels, as someone who watched and rewatched the show, that maybe a newbie wouldn't know, someone who's not familiar, and that's something that I'm curious about, because there's a lot in Rebels that potentially someone who didn't see Star Wars Rebels, or there's a lot in Ahsoka, it feels like a lot in Ahsoka, that someone who didn't see Star Wars Rebels might wonder about. But then there's also things that people who did see Star Wars Rebels are probably also asking themselves. So we have the dynamic of Ahsoka and Sabine, right? And I'm curious how many people are confused about this. Now, I know I'm a little off-put, a little confused that Ahsoka and Sabine were master and apprentice kind of a thing, because from my understanding, Sabine didn't have the Force. Right? Now, I do want to go back and rewatch maybe a couple of specific episodes of Rebels, because I think they may have slightly changed things with the Force, with Sabine's connection to the Force, little things that they could have hinted at, that Dave Filoni could have hinted at, that maybe this is the way that it was supposed to be. I don't know. But it was definitely intriguing to me that Sabine had the Force, been trained in the Force. I understand Sabine having been trained to use a lightsaber, right? But it is definitely more than that, because this did not work. I probably should have put on Omicron on. Oof. Let's try this. I don't get to use this team very often. But yeah, I'm curious about this, because it's one of those things that I think that we didn't explore too much. Now, the Mandoverse, I feel like, brings up some really interesting points when it comes to the whole Mandalorian, the Darksaber, those things, and the fact that Sabine had the Darksaber. But again, it's one of these things that, like, I feel like if you're not a Rebels fan, you may miss out on some stuff. Um, as far as performances go, like I thought it was dope. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the build to it. Um, like first watch, I thought it was just crazy enjoyable. You know, I do want to go back and second watch and overanalyze it. I think there might be some things. I have seen some feedback, some reviews that have not been super positive, and so I'm curious. I'm curious. Maybe if I'm watching it with a less than critical eye because it's Star Wars, and I give it a pass for being Star Wars, and that's possible, right? Um, Sometimes we give the things that we like, we're a little lenient. And, and the opposite is true. Sometimes we give the things that we love less leniency, less permission to not be phenomenal. And so I'm curious to see how it all plays out, one way or the other. I will say I am very disappointed and now far more saddened about Ray Stevenson's death. Now, I mean, I was disappointed before. I mean, I was sad. I mean, it was a tragic thing. Ray Stevenson, not Peterson, was an excellent actor, and I was saddened to hear that he'd passed. Rusty Jason, welcome, buddy. But now, having seen episode 1 and 2, I'm thinking, man, I mean, as far as storyline goes, and I know that's probably the worst of the things to be sad about, a person lost his life. I mean, he died. It's not like it's tragic. It absolutely is tragic when anyone passes, but like, that happens every day. It's not like it was no, I'm going to stop because I'm digging myself a hole, a much deeper hole. But but no, I'm disappointed by that because now like this character is Balin, I don't remember his last name, is an awesome character. It is he's amazing. And so I'm really curious to see what more there is here, what more is coming with this character. I don't know, like I'm stoked. I'm really excited to see where this goes because it seems like there's a lot of potential. And I did say I do believe that that Thrawn we might get a Last Jedi moment, or what was it was the Last Jedi, where Luke threw the saber over his head. We might get that. That might happen. But I don't know. Gilgamesh, hey, I know you. Will Hat did you do years ago? It's a great question, Gilgamesh, over on Twitch. I don't know what you mean by it, is the short answer. Because I think you left. Will Hat did you do years ago? Where's the hat that I wore years ago? My I don't know, man. It's a great question. My conspiracy hat. Yeah. I don't know. The short answer is probably the government took it. That's the That's the most likeliest of answers. The government took it. I was getting too close to the truth. Um, Now, like, there's really an interesting, as far back to Ahsoka. Like, I'm really curious to see where it goes. So far, what I've seen though is it's following the hero's journey storyline pretty consistently. And if you're not familiar with the hero's journey, it's essentially like the Lord of the Rings plot line. Character gets called on an adventure. He's like, no, I don't want to do that. And then he's like, okay, fine. And then it's like, problem, solution, return home. Right? That is the short answer, a very short summary of the hero's journey. And it seems to be following that. Now, I mean, Star Wars follows the hero's journey. Episode 4, A New Hope, is just the hero's journey. I want to go on an adventure, and it's like, oh no, I can't do it because mom or aunt and uncle, and then it's like, boom, burned up like chicken cutlets. Fine, I'll go on an adventure and make out with my sister, because that's what he does. That's not my joke. That joke's brought to you by Glove and Boots, I think is the name of the YouTube channel that used to exist, with puppets, and it was amazing. But the idea, though, I mean, it seems to follow it pretty closely. You've got, let's see, who did I just fight? You've got Ahsoka, a mentor of sorts, trying to find something. She brings it to, I don't even know who was fighting in that last one. Shock T? Oh, was his face? Dash. Let's go to Dash. But no, I mean, I've so far enjoyed it. I'm excited to see where it goes. I've said this before. I don't want them to reboot the series because it's not that 7, 8, and 9 are my favorite of shows, because they're not. And in all fairness, 8 and 9 are super frustrating. 7 is all right, fine, whatever. But like 8 and 9 are like, it's hard to redeem 8 and 9. 8, in my mind, the book was helped redeem the show, the movie, but there is no redemption for 9. Like, period. It's not good. It's frustrating. It takes leaps where there doesn't need to be leaps. It's a hot mess, in the worst possible way. But I remember when Disney came in and they disrupted the canon and they said, hey, all of this is out. It was devastating, right? And to be honest, I don't know if fans can do that again. Now, there are many fans that are like, yeah, we can. We absolutely can. Don't tempt me with a good time, kind of a thing. My good buddy Nev is like, yeah, bring back, don't let Disney do it, but bring back, OG canon, because OG canon is where it's at. A real extent. I also think, why is this not opening? Oh, I just opened up like 10 web pages because of my desire to speed through this. Oh, crap, weasels. But like the real, like, there is a real desire to bring back old canon, and I understand that, but like, I think, I don't know, I think that it will just mess. Disney is screwed up enough, and if they decide to keep Lucasfilm, which, that's iffy, I guess, then I'm worried. I'm worried that if they go back and rework canon, it's going to be a whole thing. Now, under the tutelage of Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, no, I've trust in that. I'd be totally fine with that. Under those two, because they understand fandom. They understand the concept of what these people want, what the fans want. They want a good story told well. The only politics they want in the storyline is the politics of Star Wars, right? They don't want like our politics. They want Star Wars politics because they want to leave our politics. That's the whole point of a fantasy story. Leaving our politics behind. You know? The whole story, the whole point of it. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'll be 100% honest. I'm very excited to see where all of this goes. I do hope that we get Thrawn before the end of this season. You know? I feel like that would be a waste of time, or, a waste of opportunity, I think. Excuse me. If they didn't include Thrawn before then. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this. There's a lot of news, a lot of rumors going around. I say rumors, but it's news. Sam Witwer, who is the voice of Darth Maul, in the Legends, not the Legends, in the Clone Wars series, was in Episode 2. And who was he in Episode 2? He was the voice of Marmaduke, or Meriadoc, or Martin. Let's call him Marmaduke. I like that. The Inquisitor. He was the voice of the Inquisitor. But why is that important? Well, Sam Witwer was also the voice of Starkiller, right? Now, this Inquisitor, who is the apparently last Inquisitor, or the one of the few surviving Inquisitors from this time period, or from the Imperial time period, like they didn't live, right? They're dead. They're dead. They're all dead. So you have to ask yourself, why did this one survive? How did this one survive? Is he more important? Is he better trained than all of the other Inquisitors? And the answer potentially is yes, because if Sam Witwer played the voice of this Inquisitor, which I don't remember him even speaking, right? Like, I don't remember him even saying anything. Why is that important? Well, if he did play the, Force Unleashed Balin, oh no, Balin, I don't remember his name. The Force Unleashed character, right? Kraken Stuffy Pants, that's not his name. If he played him, is he being brought back in? Now, there was an interview with Sam Witwer years ago that said if they did bring this character back in, who was trained by Vader, who was essentially Vader's apprentice, if you're not familiar with the storyline, who bested Vader a number of times, it'd be a really interesting twist, because all of a sudden you have Ahsoka, who is Anakin's Padawan, and then you might have a face-off against Vader's Padawan, right? Who was trained better? Who was, who was the real master? Who accepted it better? I don't know. It's an interesting concept, because it could be. I mean, it might not have anything to do with it. This could be just Sam Witwer because he's freaking Sam Witwer, and he's Star Wars you know, uh, not legacy, but he's Star Wars royalty. You know, he's one that's been with this with Lucasfilm. He's one that's worked with Lucasfilm for years, right? I mean, granted, mostly in a voiceover uh, format platform, you know, but that's fine. He still does it, you know. He's right up there, not to the same extent by any means, but he's right up there with, you know, Mark Hamill in my mind. With I would say Harrison Ford, but Harrison Ford doesn't like Star Wars, so not Harrison Ford. Like to Star Wars fans, he's royalty, right? And he loves Star Wars, which I think is why I compare him to Mark Hamill. Like Mark Hamill loves Star Wars, and so it would be interesting if this character does turn out to be Galen Merrick. Yes, Galen Merrick. That's his name. Not Balin. I mean, Marmaduke is close to Merrick, right? Obviously, his name is not Marmaduke, but I think I'm going to go with that from now on. Morick, Mark, I don't know. But it's an interesting concept. Now again, it could simply be that Sam Witwer is a phenomenal voice actor, and you know, since he's already connected with the work, you know, why not use him, right? Now, why not have him be connected with this? I mean, it makes sense, right? But it's a fun theory to think about, right? It's a really interesting concept. I mean, and I'd be fine if they brought in Galen Merrick. My only concern is, are they going to do it justice? Now, we do know from the trailers, this isn't a spoiler or anything, that we do know that Galen Merrick, or that Balin knows that Anakin, or believes that Anakin hinted, or that Anakin became Vader. If this Inquisitor is Galen Merrick, Anakin surviving, or Vader surviving mentee, it would make sense that he would then pass that knowledge onto a new master, a new person that he's working with, right? The other thought is this Inquisitor could be Ezra, and I'm not buying that. I don't think that this new guy is going to be Ezra at all. It'd be shocking, but I also think that it might be a little on the nose is the wrong phrase, but I don't know, weak sauce. Like, it could be better, right? Do I want to put in the Wampa here? This is a dangerous thing. If I do, I'm going to put in, I got to give him something else. Evade and attack, offense up. But I don't know. Like, short answer, it was interesting. And short answer, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm also glad that the episodes come out on Tuesday evening, which is excellent. And so, because then we don't have to wait till like the next morning. You know, one of the things that I would do often with these shows as they came out on, you know, at midnight or something like that. Wednesday for us is like an early out day, and we have time to like get some stuff done, grading and whatnot. And so what I would do is I'd do my work and I'd put the show on. But like, I think part of that takes away when you're watching it on a computer, like when you're doing other things, it takes away from the overall experience. And I think for me, part of the reason why I enjoyed the show so far, I put my phone down. I got rid of all distractions, and I just sat there and I watched the show as it was meant to be watched, without interruption, without distraction. I had a few snacks. I had, caffeine with me. And I just tried to enjoy it, you know? Um, and and I did, which I think is the positive takeaway, right? And I think that's part of the reason why I liked it. I was able to put all of the world away, and the show itself didn't bring me back into the world, right? So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty stoked to see where this ends up going, you know? So I don't know. Didn't I just use... Oh, I used the wrong team, didn't I? I did. Interesting. Huh. I screwed myself over here, I think. All right, let's jump to the backside, the bottom side, and take out some of these guys. Now, let's talk a little bit about Disney. Now, I bought some Disney stocks a couple of months ago. I went out and I bought 2. I was like, I wanna see what's going on here. I wanna be a part of their world, but not like, indoctrinated by it. Like I enjoy Disney. I do. But I'm curious to know, how's it going? How's it going, What's up? But I was curious, so I was like, all right, I'll buy a couple stocks. And $92 was what I bought my first stock. Then $88 was what I bought the second one. I lost money. I lost about $8, I think, because I ended up selling just before it tanked on Thursday. And it dropped from, I think it was hovering around like 86, 85. It dropped to, let's see, scoundrels. It dropped to 82, right? And that's a pretty big number to drop, right? Now, I only lost $8, maybe. But the company lost millions of dollars in that. That's the thing. Like, think of how, like, $8 divided by however many shares they have. It's substantial, right? And so part of the reason, or at least one of the reasons why some people think that it dropped, some people are saying, Ahsoka didn't do as well as it could have, and so therefore bad. I don't think that's it. So if you don't know, apparently, Kathleen Kennedy is being sued, or the Acolyte is being sued for a number of different things. I think it has 2, maybe even 3 different lawsuits against it. And it sounds like these lawsuits have merit, according to how it's being reported. Now, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, nor am I a country supervillain trying to take over the world from a hidden layer underneath the Earth's surface. It's not me, unfortunately. I mean, if anyone's a supervillain, I have 2 daughters. It's probably one of them. And I wouldn't put it past them. They're sweet and adorable, but they're girls and dangerous. I love them to death. But but no, it'll be interesting to see how it works out. Now, this is something that will affect, although it's a lawsuit against Lucasfilm, it's going to affect Disney's bottom line, right? Plus, with all of the things that are going on, it makes me wonder if this is just one more kind of nail in Lucasfilm's inevitable coffin, right? Because remember that Disney has to buy Hulu, so Disney is in a partnership with, I think Comcast, and for the ownership of Hulu, and Comcast is set to sell their share of the company of Hulu to Disney. Now, the idea behind this is Comcast then gets all of this money, but Disney has to do it, right? This is a deal that they've made, and they've got to have the money to be able to do it. And so if they don't have the money because their stock prices are plummeting, they need to find a new way to do it. And so this is one of those things that it's like, okay, so what's their plan? How are they going to get this to work, kind of a thing? And so there's a lot of rumors that Lucasfilm will sell, or that Disney will sell Lucasfilm to a third party, to someone else. There are rumors that Disney itself will be sold to Apple, but I've also heard that the current presidential administration won't let that go through. Whether it does or not, I don't know, obviously. But can you imagine Apple owning Disney? So if you have an Apple phone, maybe you get like preferential treatment at Disneyland. Yeah, I mean, I won't switch to Apple because I don't like Apple. Anything that I can't take apart and try to fix myself, even if I break it, I don't want it, right? I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but to me it does. And that's what's important. To me it does. So, again, not brought to you by Dr. Pepper Zero, the flavor saver. I'm sure that's not their actual slogan. Let's see. Newt, Rolo, Kylo, Mon. Let's go to Mon real quick. Who's a good anti-Mon? Looks like I've used a lot of my best anti-Mon teams. Ooh, Treya. So yeah, I'm really excited to see where all of this goes. It's kind of an interesting time to be a fan of Star Wars, and an interesting time to be someone who's enjoyed Disney over their lifetime. I don't know. I'm very curious to see how all of this plays out, because I don't know that it's going to play out in Disney's favor. Because again, there's a lot of things going against it. Now, do I think that they're going to buy Hulu? Of course they are. I mean, that's part of their contract. They have to, right? But we've also heard that Disney, or Bob Iger, is going to take Hulu and Disney Plus and marry them, and it'll just be one app, which I'd be down with, right? Because then instead of paying for Hulu and Disney Plus, I can just pay for one or the other, right? Instead of bundling, I can just get the one, right? Which is, I think, part of what they're trying to do. I don't know if that's exactly what they're trying to do, but I think that it might be. Now, will that save Disney Plus? I think that it might. I think that it absolutely might. Because right now it is bleeding subscribers, right? But Hulu's still doing all right, right? I think a lot of the streaming services are struggling, but I don't know if any as much as Disney, as Disney Plus. And so I'm curious to see where this goes, because there's a lot of good stuff on Hulu, you know? And right, if they can marry one with the other and, you know, have one kind of leech off the popularity of the other, I think it works. I think it's going to be an effective tool, but I don't know. We'll see. Because again, you know, time will tell. I mean, this time next year, a lot of this stuff will have been resolved. But we'll see where it goes. You know, it's anyone's guess up until then. Let's see here. Who's a good anti-Rolo? Anti-Rolo. Man, let's do this. Do I have scoundrel? Hey, who am I doing? What am I doing? So, yeah, pretty excited for all of this, to be completely honest. I got 2 books on layaway is not the right word. On hold, pre-order. I do love pre-order. I have it's coming out on Tuesday, I believe, the From Another Point of View book for Return of the Jedi. So I'm pretty excited. I'm hoping that we get an Ewok book. A little yub-nub section of murder and violence and maybe tips on how to barbecue a stormtrooper. I don't know. I think that'd be kind of dope, right? You get the chef, the village cook, arguing about like how best to cook, I don't know, a little blonde-haired kid, and it turns out it's like, oh no, we can't cook him because he's our god's, I don't know, buddy, or he's our god's master. I don't know. He's our god's son's creator. He's essentially like if Jesus had a droid, right? That's what 3PO is. There's like God, and then there's Jesus, and then Jesus is, I don't know, servant? Is that wrong? I don't know. Is it sacrilegious? It might be. I don't mean to be, but I don't know. It could be. What's up, Audrey? Over on YouTube's. I am doing well. I'm getting over a cold that my students gave to me, right? First day back, they got me sick. I don't know, someone's coughing or hacking stuff up, and kids are disgusting, right? So, but I'm getting over that, and so that's fun. I still get bouts of lightheadedness, which is always enjoyable, except when you're driving or walking downstairs, right? So, yeah. Otherwise, I'm doing good. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited. I've got, I don't know, I've got to set it up to where I can do some captures, some video captures. I switched to Verizon because I got a free Xbox out of it, and because I'm an EA game changer still, I got Madden 24. Now I'll tell you, I don't play football games. I haven't played Madden since like I lived with my brothers, right? We used to play Madden as like all the time. Well, we used to play NCAA all the time. But Madden, it's a thing. And so I got a free copy of it, and I'm like, I'm going to do some streaming, right? This is driving me crazy. I need to kill somebody. And by that, I only mean in the game. Oh, you're going to bring her back? You turd muffin. I got to kill Han now. Kill him. There you go. So yeah, I've been thinking maybe I should do some streaming of Madden, give that a shot. Cause I'm not good at it, and I think it would be fun, at least for me. And I think it'd be infuriating for those of you who are hardcore football fans. I think it'd be an enjoyable experience all around, especially if I was able to pick up who won. I'll feel better, man. I will. I got to mow my lawn today, so if I mow and my arm gets cut off, I trip and my arm fell under the thing, that would be bad. But I mean, other than that, I'm probably gonna be fine, And with everything, I would totally let me ask this. And this is a little bit of a tangent, but to me it makes total sense. If you could replace a body part with a machine, right? And because again, my thought is mowing the yard, I get lightheaded, pass out, fall underneath the Xbox, fall underneath the lawnmower somehow while it's still, going and whatever, and my arm gets chopped off. Would you want not a prosthetic arm, but a bionic arm? And I think the answer is yes, right? But if you didn't have a bionic arm, what body part would you want, right? Are you like, you know what? I want a big toe, a bionic big toe, right? So that like when you're wearing sandals, you can just like mess with people. Maybe it like snakes around, right? That'd be trippy. I don't know. A bionic butt, you know? So if like you're sitting in a chair and someone's sitting above you, you could like inflate your butt cheeks and get taller, right? Think of like your ability to twerk, right? Like you know, I can't twerk. I don't have a butt. I mean, I have a butt. I'm sitting on it, but it's more like I have a backside and it just goes straight down, right? It's not a whole lot to grab onto, nor is there a whole lot to like twerk. So, you know, just saying. Yeah, I think a bionic arm would be pretty dope. I've said this before, and people I don't think appreciate how much I would absolutely do it. So if you're fans of X-Men, and I'm a fair weather fan of X-Men. I like the concept of the X-Men. I've seen every movie. I've watched many of the shows. Right, growing up, I would totally do it. But Angel, when Apocalypse rips his wings off, he gives them new ones, and he gives them these like bionic wings. That's what I've always wanted. I've never really wanted the ability to fly. I mean, flight would be cool, right? Think of like the you know, the money you save on trips, or at least on solo trips. You couldn't bring your family on trips if you had like the ability to fly. That would take so much time, right? But wings. I've always wanted giant feathery wings. And I just think that it would be fun. Now, first of all, I love the idea of always wearing a tunic, because if you're wearing wings, or if you have wings like attached, you have to wear a tunic. A t-shirt's just not gonna fit. You know, you've got to wear something specific for your body type, and wings. I mean, you just have to like drape it over a poncho. Maybe not even a tunic, but like a poncho. And I love the concept of a poncho, right? As like a t-shirt. I think that's pretty dope. I'll be honest. But also, giant feathery wings, I think would just be fun. You know? I think it would be an enjoyable thing. I might be wrong. I mean, I won't know in this life, maybe. Maybe when I get to heaven, if I get to heaven, the Lord will be like, hey, you were talking about wings earlier. And I'm like, yeah, wings. Here you go. That'd be pretty dope. Now, would I always want wings? I don't know. Probably not. You know, there's a lot that could probably go wrong with wings. And knowing my luck, I'd probably do something stupid and get them shot off. Or I'd get hunted, you know. And I've been hunted before, and it's not fun. I mean, actually, the experience was fun. It was pretty fun. Like, I remember it fondly, to be honest. But, I mean, not in the same way, right? Not where, like, you know, I'm hunted and then cooked, you know, and it's like a turducken, but like turkey, Thaddeus, ham, whatever, right? So I don't know. That would be giant feathery wings. That would be awesome. But what bionic part would you want? Right? Would you want like bionic fingers, like woo, and like you could like mess with people? Yeah, we start school super early. It's weird, but it's fun. You know, it is what it is. Let's do this. I'm going to bring in my Night Sisters. Oh, this might not be the right way to go because they both... I don't have anything either. All right, yeah. Let's try it out. Maybe I can whittle them down if this doesn't work. But yeah, pretty excited. Pretty excited. What wing? What would you want? Like bionic eyes? Would you want? I don't know. A bionic tongue? What if you could like taste things, but like more things? That'd be interesting. I mean, I think bionic, if you're going to go bionic, I think arm is probably the safest bet. You know? Bionic legs would be pretty dope. Now, I will say this though, if you are one who is weight conscious, right? And you're dealing with bionics, you don't ever want to go on a scale, right? Because you'd weigh a ton. You know, metal legs. It's just lots to that. Oh, and they both went down. Yeah, so this didn't work. Oh, Kylo, you turd monger, you were supposed to stay alive. Yeah, so I'm actually super excited about this last actually From a Different Point of View book that's coming out. Should come out on Wednesday of this week, Tuesday or Wednesday. I think that's when books come out, Tuesday or Wednesday. Let's do Galactic Republic. Let's do C-3PO. I'll hold off. You know, and I've really enjoyed the From a Different Perspective, for different point of view books that have come out over the years. They've been really interesting. None of them have added, I mean, most of them add, I guess, a little bit to the lore. Not necessarily a ton, but I think enough to make it fun, you know, to make it a unique approach to the storyline. Like I remember in A New Hope, there is the retelling of the destruction of Alderaan from Senator Organa's point of view while he's on Alderaan, right? And so that's a really unique perspective, you know. Here's this father seeing the destruction of his planet, you know, worrying if what he's done is or no, it wasn't the father, it was Queen Organa. I think it was Organa. Yeah. Did they survive? They did survive for a second, and they're all dead now. Oh man. But that was an interesting perspective. That was an interesting viewpoint, and seeing that from her eyes was really cool. In fact, there's a number of different things. Having people on the Death Star seeing the destruction. We saw a little bit of that in the book Lost Souls. Fallen Star, that's what it's called. Fallen Star. And ooh, no, wrong one. Resistance. Actually, do I have unaligned force users? I do. Is this going to be enough, though? Let's give it a shot. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. The other book is actually called Cave 13. It's by this author that I'm just Oh, I love his work. He's created this universe that is just so much fun to read, to explore. I'm just really enjoying it, and so it's essentially the latest book in this main. Actually, this one is a spin-off series of his main storyline, but it's a lot of fun. So do I get a kill? Oh, perfect. That's what I wanted. Probably should have led with this, but it is what it is, you know. Ooh, there we go. There we go. But yeah, those two books are up. I'm gonna maybe be checking for some of these. I've been looking at my selection back here behind me, and I get a lot of my books from like secondhand shops. Like anytime someone gets rid of a book that I don't have, I'll pick it up. But one of the things that I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to go back and get the first two retellings of. Wait a second. Oh, okay. I was like, what? I thought for a second that they had beat the top tier, and then somehow beat the back one without going through the front. And that didn't happen. All right, so let's go here. Let's do our executor. But yeah, I'm gonna go back and maybe get those ones because I really enjoyed them, and they're not ones that I picked up. And I always like to buy the book and the audio book because I think it provides a, you know, if I like the audio book, I'll get the book because sometimes you just need something to read, you know. And I like having different copies of things that I really enjoy, you know. I don't know if you probably can't see it here because this little part of the screen is blocking it. I finally got all of the Witcher series books. I really enjoyed that. The Witcher series is such a fun series, and the way that it's told, really awesome, really enjoyable, and I'm excited. You know, I'm excited to see to have that. Now, do I really think the world's going to end and I'm going to need to have a physical copy of all the books that I enjoyed? Probably not. The conspiracy theorist in me is like, yes, you will. You will absolutely need that. Don't lie to them. But really, in reality, probably not. I'm probably going to be fine. But like, I still like having the copies. You know, because it's nice to have the thing that you like. Plus, it does support the author, right? I mean, if you buy them new, if you can. But yeah, I really like it. So maybe I'll go back and today or tomorrow look through and see if I can get a copy of those, and because I've never found them used, right? And obviously if you buy them used or secondhand, you're not supporting the author. Talking about it, I feel like does... Oh, crap weasels, what did I do? I hit the wrong button. Oh, okay. Whew. I was worried for a second. Oh my goodness. But we pulled it out. That's what she said. All right. Let's go profundity here. Rebels. I don't know. Lots of good stuff going on. Lots of good stuff. I don't know. Is there any Walking Dead fans here? I'm a big fan. Big fan of zombies, end of the world type stuff, obviously. I just finished watching the first half of the final season of Fear the Walking Dead, and I'm furious. I mean, it doesn't sound like I'm super angry. It's just like I don't have any idea. Like all of a sudden, the show jumped 7 years, and it's like, wait a second, what? Where did this come from? And you're like, well, I don't get it. And like the story kind of goes along, but like at the same time, you're like, I'm angry, and I'm confused, and I don't know what just happened, right? Like I've gone back, I've watched it, I've read things, and I'm like, what kind of insanity do you think you were trying to pull here on? It's super frustrating, right? And they've had time skips before, but not like this, and not in this way. And it's like, oh, it's super frustrating. Oh, I get so angry. Anyways, so yeah, that's happening in my life. Trying to figure out what else I'm gonna watch. My wife and I have picked up the Santa Clarita Diet, another zombie story. Done well. Surprisingly well. It's over. It was only 3 seasons, I believe. And it seems to go through a pretty short period of time. But we're enjoying it. You know, it's funny, it's lighthearted. It's got Cobb Vanth, whose name I forget, but it's a good story so far. I'm really enjoying it. So, but yeah, life is going well. I'm enjoying these double drops. I've done some pretty good stuff with the double drops. I'll talk about that in a second here as I finish up this final battle. It's been pretty effective, I will tell you. I'm making some serious progress on my farms, which, I mean, seeing as how I'm already a major whale, and maybe not major whale. To me, I'm a major whale. To actually whales, I'm like, I don't know, maybe like a kelp shark of some kind. Like, I'm not threatening at all. I'm not like a killer whale. You know, killer whales are jerks. Did you know that a killer whale will attack like a pod of killer whales will attack a great white shark, kill it, eat it. It won't even kill it. It'll eat its kidney, and then leave it to die. Like, that's it. That's all it does. That's a douchey move, right? Like, I knew that they were like big and mean, but like, man, they're like jerks. Like, legit. I found that out. I was like, man, killer whales are. Willie was a jerk, you know? That's ridiculous. I might lose this. No, I won't. I'm not going to lose it. Probably. Who knows? The fates. But yeah, things are going well. Things are going good. I'm excited to see little Leia's indoor Leia's kit as it comes out. I do think we'll get an indoor Han after Leia comes out. Obviously, he won't be needed for the unlock, but you know we're gonna get it. You know, as I'm thinking about and as I'm kind of randomly talking about this stuff. Oh, you butthole. One of the things that I think we should get, what they should do, as they take away a character, as they take away, as they move from one raid to another, right? And all these characters, all these people have invested tons of money and or at least energy and stuff into these raids. What they should do is then, after they've moved on to the next raid and all the reward systems are going there, what they should probably do is put a character, right, on, for example, this. So once they introduce this new biking raid for the Crate Dragon, what they should probably do is make it so where the characters can unlock, or the players can unlock a character from here. So you've moved this stuff away so that you can still build and farm and do all those other things. But the reason why you would go back to the crate is because you need to unlock Cobb Vanth, or you need to unlock, I don't know, a new character. Or maybe once they've unlocked that, or once they've moved away from that raid, maybe they introduce where you can farm characters for the raid on the raid. Like you get a potential drop for characters, right? Instead of like you get all of those characters, you get some of the characters. That would be a cool way to continue to make the raids enjoyable, make the raids a reason to go back and play them, right? I think that'd be a lot of fun. But here we go. Now, let's look at this. This is where I'm at. Now, I've told you before, can I tell you how pissed off I was when I realized that my tie dagger wasn't finished? I had, same thing. I had the tie dagger and I had the Mark Interceptor. He was almost done, but like obviously not. And so now I have to go through and freaking unlock or level up the tie dagger before the Leviathan hits again. Everything else was done. Tumblo Drye, welcome. I'm doing well. But the freaking Leviathan, this freaking tie dagger, I got to go back and get. I'm super mad at myself for not realizing that. But as far as the journey guide goes, I'm just kind of keeping an eye on what I need for Leia. Now, I'm at 5 out of 6 things because a lot of this stuff was just super easy, and some of the stuff I had already, right? Like Scout Trooper obviously is going to be a hard one. Captain Han, I think, is at Relic 3. R2 is at 7. Chirpa is at, I think, gear 12. Rex and Kinesa are 2 that I'm just like, they're up there, I'm trying. But what I'm also trying to do in the meantime is I'm super frustrated with Leviathan. I'm trying to unlock Lord Vader because Vader is one that I've not gone after. And look, I'm making some real progress. It's not been full cleared since. Ooh, good to know. Echo, Bad Batch, he's close. Grand Moff Tarkin. I'll show you. So what I've done is, for me personally, I've taken everything that I'm farming, right? So I don't know why Profundi is still listed as favorites. It shouldn't be. So I put everything that I'm farming and I've made it top tier, right? Made it a favorite. So I've got R2, Commander Luke, Grand Inquisitor, Grand Moff Tarkin, 3PO, Echo, Chopper, Wrecker, Hunter, Lobot, Tarful, Sierra Junda, Captain Rex, Saw, and Kinesa. Now, to be completely honest, my main focus is, let me bring him back up. It's this dude. It's Cal Kestis, right? But if I put Cal as my main focus, the gear pieces that I need for the other characters aren't going to show up as if they're needed, right? If that makes sense. So what I've done is I've just made them characters that I need to farm, right? With these double drops, I've made some huge progress on Sir Junda, Tarful, and Saw Gerrera. A little bit Saw Gerrera. But with the double drops or the bonus drops for Captain Rex, look at that. I am really freaking close to Captain Rex. That's awesome. I'm very happy about that. Kinesa, who can't be farmed, like, I got a ton of Kinesa, right? Because I just went buck nutty on those days that she was available to be dropped. So I haven't unlocked any packages or anything like that for either Captain Rex or Kinesa. They were just characters that I was farming, you know, and it was just when I was farming for other stuff. So it was during that bonus drop period. Saw Gerrera is being stubborn, just stubborn, and it's super frustrating. which I guess is fitting with his character because he's a stubborn man, and he was a stubborn man until he got blowed up in a planet. Now, I will say, yes, that part of the planet blowed up. We didn't see his body, so it's very possible Saw Gerrera could come back. Who knows? Echo will actually, or should actually, be ready tomorrow, maybe the next day. With the double drops, it's a lot, as you can see, 98 crystals. I may drop a 20 for 2,500 crystals or something like that for this last day of double drops and try to get Echo vaulted, because I'm at a point of, I think it's 200 now per refresh. I won't go above that on these guys, the Cantina, because it's ridiculous. The payoff, the cost to benefit ratio is not worth it. But after that, after I've got Echo done, it's just a matter of getting Moff Tarkin, who's only 2 away, and then Hunter and Wrecker, Gear 12, and then Relict, and then to the point they need, and I'll be able to unlock Lord Vader, which is really exciting for me. Which means a lot of these characters then become next level, or to a point where I'm not needing to farm them. Now I've got the Grand Inquisitor up here because he is one that I want to get to Relic 7, because I want to unlock the third sister. But the third sister is just not a priority right now. Like, I've got all of my Inquisitors to Relic 5. Yeah, people don't die in Disney Star Wars. He could come back. So that's a thing. But Tarkin, I think I'm really excited about this, even though I don't use Tarkin. I do put a ship on defense, and having a Relic 7 Tarkin on with a solid ship like that is, I think, a good thing. I'm almost done, kiddo. Okay. But then I'll finally have Pawn. How are you, sir? But then I'll finally have my Bad Batch so close to ready, and I'm really excited about this too, because our clones have been used. I kind of enjoy Conquest, but I get frustrated because there's characters that I can't use, right? And so finally my clones will be at a place where I feel they're functional. So the short answer, Pawn, is I did enjoy Ahsoka. I really, really did. In fact, I need to bring on Bones. Bones and I are talking about doing a review of the show like we did with all the other ones. It'll probably just be Bones and I, to be completely honest. I've talked to Nev about it. We've talked to Nev about it, and he's frustrated, and I again, understandably so. It's been, fans have been shat upon, right? And it's frustrating. It really is. I think not just in Star Wars, but in general, a lot of fans are really frustrated with like what's going on in entertainment. But I think no so more than in Star Wars. But as far as Ahsoka, so far, I really enjoyed it. I did. Maybe we'll do Monday, because now it's on a Tuesday and we can do like the day before reviews, so that gives people a chance to talk about it, to watch it, and to be caught up before the next episode goes live. So I haven't seen The Witcher yet. I'll be honest, I'm a little hesitant because I've heard things about how they treated his character with Henry Cavill. Little frustrated with that, and so I'm a little hesitant, but I want to see it. I just haven't yet. So I don't know, but this is where I'm at with this. I feel good. I feel like we are going to be needing a Phoenix team that is dope here in a little bit. I've got Sabine Wren, Hera. I finally got Kanan up just because he was, I don't know. just because he was close. But with Captain Rex, once he's set Relic 7, you better believe I'm going to bring on the Phoenix team. So that's kind of where I'm at, and I feel pretty good about it. My Ewoks are not going to be far away on my horizon. They are looking like I might be spending some time, especially with Kinesa. I mean, like, since I have to get Kinesa to Relic 7 and I have to get some of the other ones to Relic anyways, I mean, I love Ewoks. Might as well, right? So I don't know, that's kind of where I'm at. Feel good about it. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming in. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a great Saturday, a great Sunday, and a good start to your week. Whether you've done this already or you are just doing it now, good luck in your grand arena. It looks like my opponent was Oberon1, was doing his business when I was just finishing up. So shortly I'll know. Oh, it's close. It's going to be close. Has he done anything? Has he lost? I might lose this one, guys. And you know what? That's fine. But anyways, guys, thanks for joining me today. Have a great rest of your week. Check out the links in the section below. I'm adding new merch to my store. Ooh, I don't know. So check that out. Stickers, t-shirts, magnets, depending on which store you go to. This has been Thaddeus, my friends. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, smile.